have lore. We have lore for apple, green apple, and all the other apples. Let me explain. So we all know Apple, right? We all know him. He was part of B.F.C season 1 and all the seasons. But he actually has a backstory, and it's about the apples. So long ago, Apple was raised in the apple village. But then the knives came. The knives were trying to get the apples. So they fought back, and then they won. But the knives just kept coming and coming and coming. They would not stop until they have captured all the apples. Apple's brother, Green Apple, was also raised in the apple village with him. So you're probably wondering, why are the knives trying to get the apples? What did the apples do to them? Well, when the first apples came to land, they accidentally went to the knives' land, and obviously the knives do not allow other species to come to their land. So the knives fought the apples. Eventually, the apples had to go to another land to live in. After years of trying to find a land to live in, they finally found a land to live in. So the apples lived there, and now they were trying to raise their apples and become more stronger and trying to become the strongest species ever. The knives are trying to also become the strongest species ever, so they challenged the apples to a fight, and eventually the apples won. The knives got so fierce that they kept training 24/7. They would not have a break until they have finally defeated the apples. So that's why the knives are trying to capture the apples. It was just a battle. And now, back to the present. Ketchup was now the leader of the knives, since she found the knives. You're thinking, why did Ketchup want to take the apples even though it's none of her business? Well, you see, Ketchup actually had a sad backstory. Nobody liked her. No one even wanted to be friends with her. She was always alone for years. But then, one day, she saw the knives trying to take the apples. She wanted the knives to order her since she wanted to be noticed. So, she became the new leader of the knives. She took the bad side, and now she is the villain of B.F.C season 3. And now she wants to take the apples. So that's Ketchup's backstory. And honestly, do you feel bad for her? Anyways, we now go to the part where Green Apple abandoned Apple. Green Apple did not abandon Apple. Apple just thinks that because Green Apple pushed Apple off of their ship. The reason Green Apple did this was because there was a malfunction in the ship. There was a reactor that had gone wrong, and there will be an explosion on the ship. And Apple would have died if Green Apple did not have pushed him. Green Apple also survived the explosion on the ship. Now, the knives were trying to get Green Apple and Apple because since they had this thing, it's called an apple. And the apple would have prevented the knife from trying to capture all the apples. Ketchup saw that the apples had this thing called the apple. So, she sent out her knives to try to retrieve the apple and give it back to her so that she could take over the world. The apple was created by the ancestors' apples. The ancestor apples combined their powers to create one apple, and then they used all their power just to make more apples to try to save their village from the knives. Back to the present. Ketchup successfully kidnapped Green Apple after the explosion of the ship. She took him in her secret base where no one can see. Now obviously she needed an assistant, so she looked at one of the slaves and she took the slave in and made it her assistant. That slave was called Pear. Oh yeah, and Ketchup had slaves just to find the apples. Eventually, one slave named Cauliflower found the exit and saved all of the slaves to the exit. But then, Pear wanted to quit helping Ketchup because since Pear thought what Ketchup was doing was wrong. Ketchup had slaves working for her just to find the apples, and then when the slave didn't want to do their work, Ketchup would abuse them. But then she found more apples, and then she made her slaves work even harder 24/7 without having no more breaks. Just then, she had kidnapped all of the apples, every single one of the apples. In the final battle of B.F.C season 3, Ketchup sends all of her knives, every single one of her knives, to try to capture all of the people because the people were trying to stop Ketchup from trying to capture all the apples. But what Ketchup did not know was that Apple released all of the apples that were captured by Ketchup to stop Ketchup. Now you're probably wondering, why did Ketchup even first appear in season 3? Who even invited her? Well, she was not invited, like at all. One of her knives was a spy because since she had seen B.F.C. and saw that there was only one apple left. So, she came to season 3 because she thought season 3 was the perfect place to try to capture the apple. She pretended to be nice to try to get everyone's trust and Apple's trust too. But that did not work out so well. So now everyone knew why Ketchup was here. And now the battle. Ketchup has now realized that Apple released all the apples, and now all of the apples combine all of their power into one apple. And then they created one of the most powerful apples in the world. They now call it the Rainbow Apple. This Rainbow Apple can kill anyone. And so Green Apple uses this apple to push Ketchup off, and now Ketchup has been defeated. She is now in the lava. There are no more knives anymore. And now finally, the war that has been going on for centuries is now officially over. The apples have actually won the battle. No more knives, no more ketchup, and no more wars. Thank you for watching this lore video. If you want to see more lore videos, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, please. If you like this one and want another one, comment down below what lore you want me to explain, and I will explain it in the next lore video. Thanks for watching. Bye.